Hey! Sind einfach abgedriftet, die Dinger. Were all the arrows inside the hangar from the start? Eben. Ich glaube nicht, dass alle da waren. Good. Oh shit. Jetzt bewegen die sich ziemlich schnell. Oh, fuck! Weiterfahren! Erste Mal hatte ich jemanden Rempel. Verdammt! Who brought the 2 arrows? Monodam. Fängt er damit schon wieder an. Ich glaube, dass jemand anders dafür zuständig war. Will mein Chat mir wieder was sagen, ja? Monodam.
Could it be that the additional arrows were brought in by a third party?
A third party? So someone besides Kokichi or Himiko?
That's just a guess, though. There's no way a third party exists.
If a third party did exist, why would they bring 2 arrows?
Kaito was the only one with a crossbow. I made sure I handed it to him.
Bam, bam, bam.
Kaito said he only needed 1 arrow. Clearly, he didn't want to fight.
Yeah, that's right.
So the other 2 arrows weren't for Kaito. They were for the third party to use themselves.
So the third party didn't hand the arrows through the window. Instead, they went into the hangar and shot the crossbow themselves?
Impossible. There was an alarm system and an electric barrier around the hangar.
Yeah. That hangar should have been completely closed off, right?
It was completely closed off, but can we confirm that? I feel like there might be another way, some way that we haven't figured out yet. I'm overlooking something. Think. Erinnern wir uns mal daran? What method did the third party use to enter the hangar? Wenn da ein X dabei ist. Alles klar. Alles klar.
That's it! The exosaw! The exosaw could be used to enter the hangar. We couldn't get in because of the alarm system and the electric barrier. But that shouldn't have been a problem for any of the exosaws, right? So if you wanted to enter the hangar, all you had to do was pilot an exosaw.
I saw an exosaw enter the hangar last night. So was this third party piloting it?
By the way, I just want to confirm something with Monokuma. Would the alarm still go off if there was a person inside an exosol?
Well, I wasn't trying to keep this secret, but since it's about the details of the hangar, I guess I can tell you guys. It makes sense that the alarm system and electric barrier wouldn't react to an exisal. After all, the hangar is where the exisols are supposed to be stored.
Aha.
It'd be a hassle to disable the security every time an exisol comes and goes, you know? So even if someone is inside an exisol, the security system wouldn't catch them. Because it'd be a hassle to leave the exisol every time you have to put it away.
So it's like Shuichi said? A third party got in an exisol and entered the hangar? But can just anyone pilot an exisol?
Well, Kokichi,
It's surprisingly easy. If you use both hands, both feet, and both nipples, you can do it.
Nipples too?
Anyway, this third party commandeered an exisol and infiltrated the hangar. That same person must have brought the other 2 arrows with them.
I told you that's impossible.
Huh?
There's no way you can get through security if you pilot an exisol. It's not possible.
What? Not possible.
Maki, what are you talking about? What are you thinking? What do you know? Why are you trying to hide it? Why? Why won't you tell me?
if someone was piloting the exisol, they could have used it to enter the hangar.
That's not possible.
Is operating the exisol really that difficult?
Do we even know how to get inside an exisol? Outside the hangar, there were 4 exisols. And they were all moving too.
I was controlling them remotely.
Electro hammers weren't an option. Yesterday, all the hammers were still recharging.
Nein, stimmt
There's
nicht.
no way to stop an exisol. So
Stimmt
getting
nicht.
inside one would have been impossible.
You're right, it's impossible.
Wir wissen von einer Person, die ihren Hammer nicht aufgeladen hat. It's not impossible. There's one way to stop an exisal. I have to show them.
If someone was piloting the exisol, they could have used it to enter the hangar.
That's not possible.
Is operating the exisol really that difficult?
Do we even know how to get inside an exisol? Outside the hangar, there were 4 exisols. And they were all moving too.
I was controlling them remotely.
Electro hammers weren't an option. Yesterday, all the still recharging.
Stimmt nicht.
That's wrong! Wait, not all of the electro hammers were being charged. I know because I found one. There was a used electro hammer near Monokuma and the exosols.
Is that electro hammer used by the third party? Maybe they used it to disable an exisol.
Maybe, maybe, maybe.
Yes, I think so.
But call me maybe.
When I saw
Runter
them
was.
last afternoon, there were 4 exosols. But this morning, there were only 3.
I noticed that too. Was the missing exisol taken by this third party?
Shuichi is getting warmer. How about you say the answer right now? Who did it? Who is this third party?
The identity of the third party. The Electrammer gives us a clue. I saw 4 exosols at the scene. Yesterday when I went to meet up with Kaito. This morning when we were trying to get into the hangar, there were 3. Die Killing Game Busters. culprit must have used the electro hammer between yesterday afternoon and this morning. There's only one person among us that I think could do that. Wir wissen, dass eine Person ihren Hammer nicht mitgenommen hat, sondern lieber das Messer.
It's you! Maki, you're the third party we're looking for, aren't you?
What? It's Maki?
Einen Moment mal eben, ich muss mal kurz wohin. So, da ist er wieder. Weiter geht's.
What are you saying?
Remember what Kokichi said.
But be careful, the electro hammer runs out of battery pretty quickly. So if you use it against an axe assault, it'll run out of juice with just one shot, got it? Danke.
The electro hammer needs to be recharged for 24 hours after it runs out of battery. That hammer was used last afternoon, so it couldn't have been used this morning.
Oh, right. When we were all gathered in the dining hall this morning,
Maki, where's your electro hammer? I don't need it. I'd rather not use a weapon I'm unfamiliar with. This is much better. A knife? Well, I suppose you know best.
Maki was the only one without an electro hammer, wasn't she?
Knowing that, the electro hammer I found could only have belonged to Maki. And that leads me to the conclusion that Maki must be the third party. She also knows how to assemble the crossbow and could have returned it to her lab later.
You brought a different crossbow than the one Kaito had, right?
Maki took 2 arrows and her own crossbow from her lab, disabled the exisal with an electro hammer, and infiltrated the hangar. Now we just have to figure out what happened after.
I'll kill your logic.
Uh-oh.
Why are you doing this?
What?
Why are you getting in my way?
Getting in your way? Maki, what are you...
Yes, I'm the third party.
Huh?
I admit to going into the hangar with an exisal, and then shooting the crossbow. I didn't kill anyone. I'm not the culprit! You're right. I used the electro hammer. And I used the exisal to enter the hangar too. I also shot the crossbow there. However, I am not the culprit. Because the crossbow is not the murder weapon.
Haha.
The crossbow is not the murder weapon? What do you mean?
The arrows left holes in her clothes. Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots
Hey.
wouldn't result in a fatal injury. That's why the crossbow can't be the murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit.
Hey. I don't want to think that Maki is the culprit. I want to believe her. Okay. But the way she's scrambling to defend herself.
The arrows left holes in her clothes. Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a fatal injury. That's why the crossbow can't be the murder weapon. Therefore, I'm not the culprit.
Okay, ich glaube, ich weiß, dass das Gift
The arrows
tatsächlich
left
dahin
holes in
muss,
her
wa?
clothes. Think about the locations of the wounds. They were on his arm and back. An arrow to each of those spots wouldn't result in a fatal injury.
I'll cut through your words!
Ja.
It wouldn't matter where the arrow hit, if it were poisoned.
Poison?
I noticed something about the poison in my lab during the investigation. There was just a little less in the bottle than before. If that poison had been applied to those arrows, they would have been lethal, no matter where they connected.
Maki, do you have a rebuttal?
What's the matter? Why don't you say anything?
Say something.
Don't tell me. Are you really the culprit?
There's no way she is! 'Cause why would she kill Kaito?
I can't understand if you don't explain anything!
Maki is still fighting.
Huh? Fighting?
Do you remember that Maki said she would do anything to defeat Kokichi? Maki is trying to kill Kokichi in this class trial. She wants to kill the mastermind, a remnant of despair.
Then when Maki said she would sacrifice anything, she meant...
The sacrifice that Maki is talking about must be... Ja, unser aller Leben, ne?
That's it! She plans to sacrifice all of our lives in order to kill Kokichi.
Sacrifice us?
Then by hiding the truth, Maki was trying to get us to arrive at the wrong answer. Just to kill Kokichi and the rest of us along with him?
Doesn't that mean that Maki's the culprit?
She knew what happened
Alles klar,
and
Maro,
tried to
schlaf
hide
gut.
it from us.
Danke, dass du reingeschaut hast. Vielleicht dann bis demnächst.
But that mischievous plan was ruined, all thanks to Shuichi here. Too bad, Maki. I already predicted this would happen.
You knew all along that Maki was the culprit.
This isn't over.
Hmm?
Maybe we do have the truth now, but this isn't over. We have a choice to make. We don't have to follow where the evidence leads.
Mischievous plans.
What do you mean?
Does this mean you're gonna vote for someone else, even if it's not the truth?
Someone else? You mean vote incorrectly on purpose?
What did you say?
Kaito told me that only I would be able to grasp what lies beyond the truth. That means finding the truth is not enough. We need to grasp the hope just beyond it. So Maki, please tell us the truth. The truth that only you know.
So Kaito said that to you. Then, does that mean you guys made up before he died?
Yep.
Yeah, when I went to see him yesterday.
I see. Okay, I'll talk about it. Especially since it's my responsibility for involving everyone. Shuichi, you're so persistent. Were you always like that?
Yep.
You think so? Maybe Kaito's charisma is starting to rub off on me.
That guy could be pretty stubborn.
Then what really happened?
Maki, please tell us.
Please.
And so, Maki began telling the truth. A truth that would leave us all in shock.
Don't just start narrating things. You're ruining the mood.
Well, I guess this turn of events isn't exactly boring either.
Pause. Weiter geht's.
Well now.
And then the Monokuma and Cops Theater segment began. But with all the Monocops destroyed, the segment was no longer possible. And so the curtain quickly fell. Wow. Wow.
The flashback light became the motive. When Kokichi remembered that he was a remnant of despair, I planned to kill him. I thought that if I killed him, this game, and the battle between hope and despair, would end. I was confident in my talent as an assassin. I knew I would be able to do it.
Der gute kleine Livian.
We've tried to end this killing game before, but...
You were naive.
Huh?
That's what I thought. I knew Kokichi would take advantage of my naivete. Simply...
Maki totally gets me!
That's why. I needed to settle it myself. I took the poison arrows and the crossbow, and broke into the hangar with an exisal. But when I entered the hangar, I saw something I never expected. Kaito and Kokichi were fighting each other. Kokichi was shot in the arm with a crossbow arrow, probably by Kaito when he fought back. Both of them stopped and looked at the exisal, most likely surprised by its sudden appearance. Kokichi immediately took out his remote and attempted to control the exisal I was in. I jumped out of the exisal before he could, and shot Kokichi in the back with an arrow. That should have been enough to stop him, since the arrow was coated with poison.
The Strike 9 poison, correct? But why pick that particular poison? Some of the poisons in my lab were far more lethal.
I wanted Kokichi to confess his true intentions before he died. And find out why he was always lying and trying to confuse us.
What do you mean?
If he was the mastermind, it would have been easier for him to hide in the shadows, right? He could have made it seem as if the late Junko was secretly behind this killing game. That way, he could reveal himself as the surprise mastermind to liven up the game. Because of his suspicious actions, anyone would already suspect him as the mastermind. Especially with that message in the courtyard. Kokichi said it was a hint, but was it necessary for him to go out of his way just for a hint?
As a remnant of despair, I imagine he wanted to feel the despair of his plan being thwarted.
I think that if he wanted the thrill, he would have carried out the plan carefully. So when his carefully laid out plan goes to waste, he would be in utter despair.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maki must have wanted to hear it directly from Kokichi himself.
But it was pointless. I was a fool for thinking I could have a serious talk with him.
What are you talking about? Remnants of despair? What's that? I don't understand anything you're saying.
Wie ich's mir dachte.
But anyway, why are you starting a killing game when it should have ended? You already know it's all meaningless, and that I'm the mastermind. Do you love killing that much?
My boy.
Shut up, you asshole! I realized it was pointless to continue the conversation, so I shot the final arrow. But then... What?
Kaito protected Kokichi?
Why? Why would Kaito protect Kokichi?
At that moment, my mind went blank. I knew I had to do something about the poison. I rushed to Shuichi's research lab for the antidote.
So you didn't have the antidote with you at the time?
I used Strike 9 poison to torture Kokichi for info, but I planned to kill him from the start.
That's so mean!
But that was my first mistake. Because of that,
You what?
I ended up killing Kaito. When I returned with the antidote, the hangar shutter had been closed. I assumed it was Kokichi's doing. But because of that, I couldn't enter the hangar anymore. I needed to give Kaito the antidote somehow, so I went to the bathroom window. Kaito, can you hear me? Quick, drink this antidote! After calling out to him, I chucked the antidote through the bathroom window. Kaito noticed it and grabbed the antidote, but Kokichi stole it from him.
Sorry, but I can't die here. Since I'm the mastermind of this killing game.
Wait! There's only one antidote!
Oh, you don't have to worry about Kaito. He fulfilled his dream, right? He already went to space.
Damn it!
Stop!
Phew, I feel so much better. I guess that's a wrap. Or maybe not, because now another class trial is going to start.
Last trial?
You'll be the Blackened for this case, you know. The Blackened who killed Kaito.
Nee, Moment.
I killed...
Shut it! Screw the class trials. Like hell am I gonna let you have your way?
Kaito! Why did you protect Kokichi? If you didn't help him, then...
I couldn't help it. Even if it's Kokichi, I can't have you kill anybody.
What?
Aw, Kaito wasn't protecting me. He was protecting Maki.
He was protecting everyone.
The situation just got way worse. Huh. Maki is gonna become the Blackened responsible for killing you. All because you protected
Ja,
me.
das hat die Reihe so an sich.
Don't you worry, Makiro. I'm not gonna die that easily. Just leave it to me. I'll put an end to this killing game.
You're still full of energy, even like that. You really are not boring. I want to see what a dying Kaito can do. So, show me what you've got. I won't meddle with your plans.
Ich bin mir auch nicht so sicher, ob er da
What are you?
ob das nicht eventuell zu spät war mit dem Gegengift.
Run, Maki, roll. Just hurry up and run. Run. And live. You gotta live.
But I refused to give up. I tried to enter the hangar by breaking the control panel with my knife.
Was ich mich frage ist, hat er... war das ein Durchschuss mit dem Pfeil? Weil wir sehen ja die Frontseite von Kokichi gar nicht.
So that's where the marks on the control panel came from, huh?
After that, I returned to the bathroom window once more. The bathroom door was closed. I called out, but neither Kaito nor Kokichi answered. I couldn't do anything anymore. All I could do was leave. That's when I made up my mind. As the Blackened who killed Kaito, I would kill Kokichi during this class trial, in exchange for all of your lives.
So that's what happened.
Then Kokichi, knowing what he knew, still helped Maki cover up her crime?
Ja, eben.
Was that why you smushed Kaito in the hydraulic press?
Kaito wanted Maki to be spotless. As his friend, I felt obliged to help him.
How dare you make fun of him! You call yourself a friend? You enjoyed watching us suffer! You fucking asshole!
Ooh, Maki is so scary. Good thing I'm in this exosol. Pretty sure Maki would have already killed me if I was out there in the flesh. So, what are everyone's plans now? With the truth out in the open, who are you guys gonna vote for? You can vote for me, but if you do, we'll all die together. Or vote for Maki and live. Well, choose whichever you want.
Why? Why are you so calm? Your life depends on this too.
Who cares? Just choose already. Come on, who are you gonna vote for?
Wieso will er jetzt auch so schnell den Vote haben?
No, we can't vote yet. We don't have the whole truth. This case isn't over.
Huh?
Thank you for telling us everything, Maki. Thanks to you, I finally understand. There's another hidden truth within your testimony.
A hidden truth?
Yes, I'm positive. Because there's something wrong with the testimony you've given us.
That part of Maki's testimony that doesn't add up. The part, ja, dass sie das Dings kaputt gemacht hat hier, ne?
That's it! Maki said she used a knife to try to break the control panel and enter the hangar. But that doesn't make sense, because there's an alarm system on the shutter.
Oh yeah! The alarm should have gone off if someone got close to the shutter.
I was too focused to notice at the time. But now that you mention it, it is odd.
Maybe the sensor just missed her.
Nah, the security there isn't that sloppy. If a shady person got near the shutter, the alarm would have gone off without question.
Then why didn't the alarm go off?
Like I told you, this isn't over. There's still a hidden truth to find.
That's right. There must be some kind of reason behind all these oddities. Finding that reason will help us find the hidden truth.
I did attempt to enter the hangar, and I tried to destroy the control panel with my knife. At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have activated with 100% certainty.
Maybe it was just broken.
Stimmt nicht.
Perhaps it was turned to a special setting?
Die 100%ige
Or
Garantie
maybe
stimmt auch
Maki
nicht.
is telling a lie. Did you really try to break the control panel with it?
I'm not going to tell any more lies.
It seemed like the alarm system itself was working properly. Kann was nicht stimmen. Übrigens habe ich gerade ein Achievement bekommen für 500 Schüsse auf solche Dingens Teile. Aber wenn wir eine Elektrobombe benutzen würden, dann würde es nicht
At
zu
the time, the
100%
alarm system
auslösen.
didn't go off.
But if you would approach the shutter, the alarm with 100% certainty.
That's wrong!
Stimmt ja nicht.
There is a way to disable the alarm system. An electro bomb would take it down.
But Maki only had one bomb, and she used it during the raid this morning.
Wer sagt das?
Then the only other person who could have used one is Kokichi, right?
Huh? Why would I use an electro bomb? I had no reason to shut off the alarm, right? I'd be at a disadvantage if I did that.
I guess so. I can't come up with a reason why Kokichi would want to cut the alarm.
But we know that the alarm system was neutralized. It had to be. In that case, then...
I've got it! Disabling the alarm system wasn't the real objective.
What?
Ich hab's mir schon gedacht gestern. The main objective of Kokichi using the electro bomb was... the press safety function.
That's it! It was to deactivate the safety function on the press.
Deactivate the safety function?
The electro bomb wouldn't have just taken down the alarm system. It also would have disabled the hydraulic press's safety function.
That's true, but why would he do that?
There's only one reason that anyone would want to do that. But if I'm right, it means that we've been thinking about this all wrong.
All wrong.
One aspect of this case runs contrary to the new evidence. Kaitos Todesursache.
That's it! Kaito's cause of death.
What?
If the electro bomb was used while Maki was trying to deliver the antidote, maybe Kaito didn't die by poison. It could be something else entirely.
Yes, the cause of the death could now be...
This is it!
Ja, die Presse.
The hydraulic press. Kaito could have been killed by the press after all.
What? He could have?
If the safety was off, the press could have crushed Kaito while he was still alive.
Right after I threw the antidote, I tried to open the shutter. So, Kaito should have still been alive.
And if he was crushed by the hydraulic press after that, then we have our cause of death.
If that's the case, it'd mean the one who killed Kaito wasn't Maki.
It would be whoever was operating the hydraulic press. Kokichi.
I see. Very impressive. The hydraulic press could have been the cause of death. But that's just a possibility.
What do you mean?
It's possible that I killed Kaito with the press, but there's no way to know. Kaito's death could have been either the poison arrow or the hydraulic press. Both causes are possible, but you'll never be able to determine it. No matter what.
No matter what?
That's not true. We can probably solve this mystery too. Right, Shuichi?
Is it really possible to determine Kaito's actual cause of death? Was Kaito's cause of death poison arrow? Nee.
I hate to admit it, but Kokichi is right. We have no way to prove the cause of death.
What did you say?
You can't check the body, and you don't have any conclusive evidence. You can't deduce any more from here on out. There's no way to know what happened. But I know, because I was actually involved.
So that's what you were trying to do. You were trying to commit an unsolvable murder.
Do you finally get it? Yep, that was my plan. The gimmick of this murder case isn't the unknown victim, but rather the unknowable culprit. No one understands but me. Only I know the answer. There's no more room for deduction here. choose the culprit with your own intuition.
Intuition?
Are you troubled? I'm sure robots don't have intuition, right? But there's nothing you can do about it. This is just how the trial goes. So, who is the culprit? Maki or me? The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
Ich sag, er war's.
Hey, that's my line. I'm the one who decides when it's voting time.
Sehr gut, Monokuma.
Oh, come on. No one's gonna figure out the truth. Let's just vote already. This won't be a problem, right, Monokuma? 'Cause you know
Debated.
who the culprit is, don't you? Just like you always do.
Huh? Yes, of course.
Yeah? What kind of a reaction is that?
The culprit, you say?
Er weiß es wirklich
yes,
nicht.
of
Das ist das
course I
erste Mal, dass
know.
er es nicht weiß.
Why do you seem so flustered?
Flustered? Me? What are you talking about?
What's going on with Monokuma right now?
Monokuma, do you not know who the culprit is either?
Huh? Oh, what do you mean I don't know? What don't I know, huh?
You don't know, do you?
What does this mean? Why doesn't Monokuma know who the culprit is?
Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is either? If Monokuma doesn't know, what does that tell us about this case? Wait, this case?
Yes, that's it. So that's what Kokichi's real objective was.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Kokichi wasn't just trying to commit a murder that we couldn't figure out. He was trying to commit a murder that Monokuma couldn't figure out either.
A murder Monokuma couldn't figure out?
But what's the point of that? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
But consider how many elements of this case would be cleared up. Prior to this case, Monokuma always knew the specific details of each crime, correct? That must mean that he was using some way of monitoring us.
Nicht schlecht, Shuichi.
Perhaps there are hidden cameras strategically placed to avoid our detection.
I can't say for certain, but he must be keeping watch somehow. Kokichi probably used the electrobomb to scramble whatever that was. The electrobomb would prevent any cameras from sending video wirelessly.
Which means it wouldn't matter where the surveillance cameras were hidden.
Like I said, what's the point? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Before we determine that for sure, I want to make one thing clear. If the objective were to create a crime that would stump Monokuma, the exosols... Yes, the exosols weren't protecting Monokuma. They were...
They were watching him.
That's it!
Die sollten dafür sorgen, dass er es nicht sieht.
They were watching Monokuma.
Watching him?
Yes. Remember what Monokuma said earlier in the investigation?
Oh, at the time the accessors were on autopilot and directed to only observe me.
If they were protecting him like bodyguards, they wouldn't have been facing him. They would have been scanning the area, watching us. But they weren't. That implies that they weren't watching us. They were watching him. They were trying to make sure that Monokuma wouldn't go near the crime scene.
That reminds me. Before I stole an exosol, all 4 units were focused on Monokuma. That's why when I stole one to enter the hangar, the other 3 didn't pursue me.
So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki.
Even if it puts someone at a disadvantage, the class trial must always be fair. The person who shared that info with me didn't seem interested in sharing it with you guys. So you share it instead. That way it'll be fair to all the participants.
She didn't want to share that information because it would have linked her to the murder. In which case, it could only be Maki.
You're right.
So to summarize this discussion, Kokichi used the electro bomb in the hangar and the exosols to watch Monokuma, thereby creating a scenario in which Monokuma has no idea who the culprit is?
I told you there's no point. Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
No, Kokichi might not be controlling Monokuma at all.
What?
But Kokichi's the mastermind, right? Shouldn't he be controlling Monoku?
Kokichi might not be the mastermind.
Glaube ich auch nicht dran.
What?
Remember that the only reason we think that is because Kokichi told us.
Eben.
Monokuma hasn't said a word about that. It's possible that Kokichi is just lying to us.
No way I lied! I'm definitely controlling Monokuma. The mastermind of the killing game is totally me.
Nee.
The one who pitted humanity's last survivors against each other is...
That's right. He's a remnant of despair. How'd we forget that?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the mastermind.
Well, I guess. But is that really possible?
Well, Monokuma?
I can't answer that without causing problems, because I gotta run this trial fair and square.
Even more reason to give us the answer. If you don't tell us the truth right now, you'll be an accomplice to Kokichi's lies. Does that sound like a fair game? Would you say this class trial is fair?
Hält man sich da an die Regeln?
Yeah, tell us! Is Kokichi the real mastermind or not?
No need to think about it. You're being way too forward, you know?
Aren't you normally the forward one?
Ah.
I mean, I don't mind, because that's probably part of your strategy, too. But in the interest of fairness, I suppose it's time to tell the truth. Unlike the lies you love so much, the truth should be impartial to everyone.
Aha.
And what is that truth?
I'm not being controlled by Kokichi, because he's not the mastermind.
Bum bum bum!
What?
Is that really true?
Kokichi was just messing with you. I never once said he was the mastermind.
Then it was all Kokichi's lie?
Yeah, that is what that would mean. With the key from the last motive, he was the first to learn the truth of the outside world. Based on his deductions, he fabricated a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
I see. Kokichi's own deductions.
Ja, haben wir ja schon gestern drüber gesprochen. Do you want to know? Then I'll tell you. I'm getting kind of bored with all the lying, so everything I say now will be the truth, Kay?
His deductions got a lot of details right, though. Pretty impressive, honestly.
But what about the Exosols? If Kokichi wasn't the mastermind, how'd he control them so easily?
He just used Mew's remote control, right?
Mew's remote control?
So the remote that Kokichi was using was made by Mew?
Oh, you didn't know?
Nah.
Mew not only invented the electro bomb and the electro hammer, she also made a remote control that can hijack any electronic device. Kokichi just slapped a receiver on each of the exosols and took them for a spin.
Hey, isn't it a bit unfair to tell them all that?
Nah.
Fairness has nothing to do with it. I offered up that info purely out of spite. spite towards you for trying to usurp the mastermind's role and take over the game.
Well, whatever. It's way more interesting to defeat an enemy who plays dirty anyway.
What's going on? It seems like they're actually fighting.
There's no doubt about it. Kokichi isn't the mastermind.
Were we just being dragged around by Kokichi's lies the whole time?
Yep.
What were you trying to accomplish by pretending to be the mastermind, Kokichi?
Fun.
Eh! Now you're gonna be all quiet? This is so frustrating.
Ella Badge.
Then if he's not the mastermind, who is?
It's me.
Why are you so certain there's even a mastermind to begin with?
What?
What do you mean?
Why, that's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
But I wanna know.
The real mastermind is not Kokichi? Who could it be? I was thinking it was Junko Enoshima, but that can't be it. She's dead. We've never come into contact with her. If so, who's done this? Who planned this killing game?
Anyway, this conversation has flown off the rails. Let's get things back on track. This class trial is to figure out who the culprit is, not the mastermind. So, yeah, get to talking.
I agree. Before we worry about who the mastermind is or what my intent is, let's figure out the culprit!
But Monokuma doesn't know who it is. How is he supposed to confirm the results?
We don't need to worry about that. Let's just leave the decision-making to Monokuma. But you gotta run the class trial too.
Running
So no
in the
mistakes,
90s.
Okay.
Are you trying to get me to do something?
You've been watching us solve all these cases, but you can't be a spectator anymore. You're gonna participate in the class trial from here on out.
Huh?
So, let's resume this class trial. Monokuma, you gotta use your brain too. This will be the final class trial. Me versus Monokuma.
Monokuma gewinnt.
You versus Monokuma?
When I play a game, I intend to win.
Das wissen wir.
But what's considered winning in this game? Beating the other players? No. Beating the game's mastermind is the true victory. And that's how I'll win! That's why I decided to challenge Monokuma! If I can deceive Monokuma till the very end,
Masi,
then
sei
I'll be
gegrüßt.
the winner!
Ich weiß nicht, wie lange das Trial noch geht. Das wird bestimmt noch ein bisschen gehen.
Like this? Just so you can win a game?
As I suspected, your thought process defies all logic.
But since the outside world is in total ruin, this game is the only entertainment we have. At least I can enjoy this game to the fullest and feel good winning.
You really are a remnant of despair. Your way of thinking is just chaotic.
Remnant of despair? Whatevs. Let's just get
Ihr
this started.
kennt das nicht, Remnants of Despair. Wann checkt ihr das? Der hat das letzte Flashback-Light nicht gesehen.
If the students or Monokuma don't know who the culprit is, then I'm the winner.
Don't underestimate me, or Shuichi and the others for that matter.
What?
It's just like a remnant of despair to try to assume control of the game. But these kids are all that's left of Hope's Peak Academy. If you think they're gonna make this easy for you, you better think again.
Whose side are you taking here?
Side? Isn't it obvious? Monokuma joins your party.
Oh oh. Ultimate Despair Headmaster. Geil!
Invited you!
Geil!
Now, let's join forces and unravel the truth behind this case.
Well, we were going to do it anyway.
Let's just ignore Monokuma. His actions are always beyond comprehension.
Yeah! Let's focus on the case.
Hey, be quiet so we can ignore you.
Now, where should we start? We've already established what Kokichi is after.
He's just gonna keep talking anyway, isn't he?
In my experience, whenever you learn a new fact, you learn something else along with it.
Yes, let's look for that.
You warmed up to him real fast. I guess you are both robots.
So another truth comes out. That piece of evidence makes more sense now. The evidence that I couldn't wrap my head around. Ja, das Video.
This is it!
Haben wir keine Ahnung von.
Let's discuss the video of Kaito being crushed
Kann ich gar
by
nicht
the
sagen, ob
hydraulic
sich da jetzt
press.
auf der Seite sieht.
Kokichi said that he filmed that video to prove he was not the victim. But we know that Kokichi was trying to mislead Monokuma. So what about the video? It's pretty strange to present evidence that condemns you after all.
Then what kind of mistake was Kokichi trying to get me to make?
Maybe he crushed Kaito with the hydraulic press, so the cause of death would be unknown?
But if that were the only objective, there would be no need to film it. Discovering the crushed body would have been enough. No need to show us the film.
That's true.
I guess you're starting to fit in after all. If you get any cuter, I'm gonna hug you.
Huh? Really?
There must be a reason you went out of your way to show us the body being crushed.
No reason, really. That's just my twisted personality.
You're lying again, Kokichi. There's a method to your madness. If you wanted Monokuma to make a mistake, then showing us the video, it must have something to do with trying to fool Monokuma. Taking the video of the murder but keeping the victim's identity hidden. What does it show? What doesn't it show? What can't be identified? Oh, wir wissen nicht, was... Oh, ja, hier. Wir wissen, was nicht identifiziert werden kann, ne? Das Opfer kann nicht identifiziert werden. Oh no.
The victim.
Huh?
Is it even possible? No, that's a question for later. For now, we know that.
If you show the moment of Kaito's death, of course it would lead us to believe he died. Even if we can't positively identify the body, we would still believe Kaito was the victim. And that might be exactly the mistake Kokichi was going for.
Does that mean the victims were switched?
Switched?
Then it was some other dead body that got crushed by the hydraulic press?
What?
Where would he even get another body?
There should be plenty to choose from if you reuse the body of a former victim.
If there was an unknown body, then we could guess the victim was switched. But too bad! Switching the victims was impossible. The footage showed the body being crushed. When in the footage would they have been able to switch the victim? And we already established that the footage was not doctored in any way. The camera doesn't have any editing functions. Just play, record, and pause. Monokuma also said that no computer was used to edit the footage, remember?
Damn it! Me and my big mouth!
Which means switching out the victim would not be possible. Also, if the victim was switched, then that would mean Kaito is